Alright, so after almost 2 months of testing the Xiaomi Mi Note 2, it's finally time to come to the conclusion. Is it worth it? So over the last 2 months, I've been using the Xiaomi Mi Note 2 almost exclusively, almost all the time with my Verizon subscription. That was one of my main reasons to grab this phone. This is the global version that actually supports over 37 LTE bands, and that includes all the LTE bands in the US, including the ones from Sprint, Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, and all their smaller sub providers. So what is the greatest thing about this phone? Let me go one by one and mention some of these things that I think are beneficial and some of the few annoyances that I've encountered, but keep in mind they're not that many considering the rest of the features. So some of the things to mention, first and foremost, the overall performance and experience with the phone. MIUI or MIU is definitely something that I like, despite the fact it doesn't have an app drawer. It's easy to live with, has tons of good features, and the overall experience with the phone is extremely fast and snappy. Opening apps, switching between apps, obviously the memory is plenty, 6 gigs of RAM, plenty of internal storage, 128 gigs, fast enough processor, Snapdragon 821, it's still a top-notch processor, and the overall delivery of the package of experience is great in my mind. Again, 2 months of usage all the time. I think the second best is the battery, being at 4,770 milliamp batteries, milliamp hours. I have seen normal usage between 50 and 60% left by the time I come from the office at 5 p.m. Since the morning, and with kind of heavy usage, a lot of calls, a lot of other applications, around 30-40% by that time as well, which is plenty in my mind. And paired with Quick Charger 3.0, you have very fast charge, less than 2 hours to fill it up, and this is not a problem at all. So switching between apps, obviously super easy, as you can see, or maybe you can see if the camera focuses. We have about 2 gigabytes and something left available, but the phone never struggles to have memory, never struggles to open anything. Everything is fast and snappy without any problems. The loudspeaker at the bottom is one of the loudest and most clear speakers that I have on any phones. Definitely top notch, a lot louder than many of the other phones I have. The fingerprint sensor in the front, 100% accuracy. The minor annoyances that you actually have to wake up the phone by pressing it or pressing the power button in order for you to unlock it. That's just a minor, and if you're a Samsung user for a long period of time, obviously before the S8 and S8 Plus, you're familiar with that experience. Curved display, in my mind, it's kind of a gimmick. It's always been. Not a huge utilization here with Xiaomi, but it is there. It's from Samsung. It's AMOLED display, 5.7 inch, 1080p, inky deep blacks, absolutely beautiful, and I love that size, 5.7 inch. I think it's really becoming a kind of the mid-range standard right now, because phone displays are getting bigger and bigger. But this one actually looks amazing in my mind. It's really nice, and color reproduction is pretty accurate. What else to say with the phone functionality? So having an infrared blaster on the top is great if you want to control some of your TVs or other electronics around the house or hotels or whatever not. So that's great. In addition, having having a 22.5 megapixel camera in the back. So things about the camera in the back, I think for the most part the camera is pretty good, especially on the good lighting outside. Delivers pretty nice pictures, pretty detailed. Electronic image stabilization helps as well. Unfortunately, the lack of OIS is apparent once the light drops down. The biggest disappointment here is the front-facing camera. I never got this camera to focus properly, even on a perfect daylight like today outside. The camera struggles to focus and deliver a clear picture. So I don't know what the deal is. Maybe it's my particular device, but I haven't heard anybody else complaining about this, so maybe it's a defect with mine. Again, if you're selfie heavy, maybe you should consider another phone. But for your normal day-to-day social media usage, the rear camera is significant enough. Like I said, Instagram, Twitter, whatever you guys are using, it's great. GPS locks in and holds connection without any problem within seconds, very fast and accurate. The delivery of the sound through the headphone jack, obviously we have a headphone jack here. I don't know why Xiaomi are following the wrong company and omitting the headphone jacks from their phones, but here it's a great sound delivery. What else we can say about this? So I don't know what kind of glass they used for the front and the back. Is it Gorilla? Is it Dragon Glass? I'm not sure, but after 2 months of constant usage, being in and out of my pockets and all over the place, there's not a single scratch on this screen. I mean, absolutely perfect. No scratches whatsoever. I dropped the phone once, by the way. Luckily I had the screen protector, not the screen protector, but this case from Nilkin on it, so it kind of landed on the corner. Let me see if the camera can maybe focus a little bit better here or not. It struggles. So kind of hit the corner right here and damaged the case a little bit, but the phone survived. Fell from a significant height, but again, it didn't fall apart. It did not scratch or anything else like that. So I think the screen coating gets a thumbs up as well. Being curved, it's going to be impossible to find a screen protector, so you know, those are the risks. But so far, again, I didn't see problems whatsoever. One of my favorite features in MIUI, the drop down and having the weather information right here. Once you tap on it, it brings you straight into the weather app with graphics and everything. I think it's very easy, convenient, and beautiful. Some other things to mention: the calculator, which is now available on the Google Play Store as well. It's absolutely amazing. You have direct kind of calculations for currency, length, all kinds of other stuff, which I absolutely love. And one of my favorite ones as well is the clock application, which allows you to create your own custom timers, which I use for exercising and stuff like that. You won't believe how many companies or apps don't give you that customizable time that you can create. And on top of that, you have, you know, stopwatch, clock, world clock, alarms, and all that stuff. Which is great addition by MIUI. And you know, obviously you have the barcode scanner. The recorder is great. Not only you can record as you know, standalone recorder, but recording conversations while you were on the phone are beneficial. And I'm going to give you an application example. You're in a meeting. Your boss or somebody from your team is giving a lot of details on something that needs to be done. Obviously you cannot keep up with writing it down. It's great to record it and later listen into it and work with your way out. So this is a great application. It's available straight from the dialer, and always it's been very helpful for me. It's probably one of the features that I'm using all the time and I always loved. So negatives: obviously doesn't have wireless charging. It doesn't have any kind of waterproofing. But again, for the price right now, around $400, you cannot expect more. And I don't know why Xiaomi are going to the extent of bringing Mi Note 3 with mid-range processor. It makes no sense to me. The Note series has always been a flagship, and this one, having the Snapdragon 821, is actually better and faster than the one that just came out with the Snapdragon 660, which again, it's a mid-range, and it basically looks like an enlarged Mi 6. Yeah, that's I mean, that's pretty much it. I still consider this phone is better. It is an absolute winner. Great coverage everywhere in the world, no matter where you are. Dual SIM, great battery life. If you're in the States and you don't want to spend a ton of money, you have around $400, I absolutely recommend to get this phone because it's very easy to live with, very well made, full with functions, great battery life, performance is awesome, and you're gonna love the experience. And if you don't like the launcher, just put on Google Launcher or put on, you know, the Oreo launcher or the Pixel launcher. You're gonna be good to go. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I think this phone is probably one of my favorites in the last couple of years, and I am super glad that I got it. So next thing I'm going to be testing, it's going to be the Mi Mix first generation. This is going to be the next one that I'm going to spend most time with and show it to you. I think this one, the Note 2, will be put in the back a little bit. I want to see what the differences will be with the coverage with Mix, not having several of the bands, and see if that's going to be problematic or not. But if we have to put them side by side, you know, they're not that big of a difference between them. They're almost exactly the same size. Obviously the screen on the Mix is a lot bigger, and this is the benefit, the huge benefit of the Mix, and the build quality, obviously having all ceramic glass, what am I talking about, all ceramic body and a front glass, and this is a great phone. I mean, I had it sitting on my desk, and now I'm gonna start testing it. Put this kind of a sandstone cover on it, and I found finally a screen protector that I can put on, and almost looks perfect, but this will be the next. So quick preview. So as a final conclusion, is the Mi Note great? Yes, absolutely. If you want to get a great looking phone and absolute performer for about $400, go ahead and get the Note 2. That's it, guys. Till next time, you have a wonderful day.